Hello, welcome to Kekimon Yoga. Today we'll be working with a nice gentle flow and working with the intention of the gift of giving, as it's that time of the year where we have time and space to share with our friends and family the things that we love to do in this beautiful summer weather. So I hope you enjoy the flow today, and we'll just go nice and cruisily, and you can have a good time. Sitting down in your cross-legged position, either resting your hands in your lap or out on your knees, closing the eyes down, bringing the breath into the lungs, and feeling the sensation of the breath moving in and out of the lungs, the opening and closing on the rising and falling of the rib cage, expanding through the upper torso on the inhalation, and feeling the lungs sink back on the exhalation. As we do so, just noticing and becoming aware of your spine, sitting nice and tall. Bringing the awareness to the crown of the head, to the top of the head. And as you inhale, drawing the energy up from the base of the spine, up to the crown, and on the exhalation, just feeling with your awareness down through the spine, all the way back to the base. We'll continue for a few more breaths here. Dropping in. If you've had a busy day, then just helping to relax and release the breath and the energy, and coming onto the mat, coming into this space, arriving ready for your practice, ready to spend time on a beautiful inward journey. And gently flicking the eyes open, we'll begin to come into some warm-ups. Just making your way off your cross-legged sitting position and coming onto your hands and knees. Some gentle cat-cows. Inhaling as you lift the eyes and lift the tail, dropping the belly, and exhaling, reversing the flow. Back comes up, head comes down, tail tucks in. Following and moving with the breath. Inhale as the belly comes down, the gaze comes up. Exhale as we reverse the flow. If this is a morning practice for you, then moving nice and slowly. If you're coming into an afternoon practice and you're already a bit warm, then you can bring a little bit more depth into the movement more quickly, stretching deeper. Warming up and waking up the spine to begin our practice. Beginning to do some barrel rolls with the chest and the core and then the back. So keeping that movement with the breath. Inhaling on the way down, exhaling on the way back. Rocking one way. And then reversing the flow and beginning to move the other way. Coming to stillness, and then finding with your nose drawing the figure 8 around the fingers, around the bottom of the left hand, around the outside of the left hand, the left fingers, and then back through the hands, around the right hand. Continuing to work with that figure 8 nose drawing around the hands, and then beginning to flick the tail as we come the opposite way. Moving side to side with the tail, as if you're swimming like a fish. Swimming down the river, gliding along. Coming back back to stillness. From here, we'll curl the toes under. Inhale. And on the exhalation, lifting the hips and pressing back into downward facing dog, beginning by walking the feet, starting nice and gently here, taking our time. The hamstrings, always here to remind us of how we're feeling straight away when we stretch into the hamstrings. We feel if we're tight or if we're loose, or, if we need to really make the most of this warm-up before we dive deeper into this yoga asanas, these stretches today. You can also bring the hips into play so the hips can move from side to side as you pedal the feet. And not just the hamstrings, but the lower back and the hips. It's very nice to warm them up. We'll inhale, rise up onto the toes, and exhale, bring the soles of the feet down to lengthen through the back more, bending the knees, lifting the hips up, and then taking the soles of the feet down, pressing away from the floor with the hands, and rolling the shoulders outwards so the armpits come underneath the head or the neck. Activating strong here in our Ardha Mukha Shavasana, our downward dog, our first dog for the day. On the inhalation, raising the right leg up, feeling the sensation, still strong in our down dog. Right leg raised high, feeling that nice stretch through the left side. From here, we'll open up, bending the right knee, lifting up a little bit higher, keeping that height there so we get to maximize the stretch through the left leg, opening up the hips here. And then we'll gently roll over as we exhale, touching the left foot to the ground behind the right knee, and stretching out with the right hand over and above. Wild thing. Beautiful side stretch here, lifting the hips up. Inhaling on the next exhalation, landing the right hand, raising the right foot up. Downward facing dog. Exhale to step it through. Right foot lands in between the hands. Left knee drops to the floor. On the next inhalation, raising up. Coming up into low crescent lunge. Reaching up through the hands. Keeping the biceps and the triceps close to the ears as we dive down with the hips. Forwards and down. Opening up through the chest so we lift up through the crown. Finding that rhythmic breath here, sinking a little bit deeper. Inhale to expand. And on the next exhalation, dropping the left hand down and raising up through with the right hand, coming into our twist. Starting off nice and gently today, staying with the breath. Reaching up with the right fingertips. On the next exhalation, bringing the right hand to the mat. And here we'll do some heart pulses. So as we inhale, we raise the heart up. And as we exhale, we fold the heart back. Finding a little flow with the breath here. Lifting up the chest as we look up. Exhaling, raising the back of the heart. One more inhalation. Lifting up. And then as we exhale, planting the hands and stepping the feet back together into plank. Our first plank for the day. Finding the core here. Pressing away from the floor with the hands. The hips and the shoulders are about level. And tucking the tail in. And we'll find our first little vinyasa. So if you feel like taking a gentler practice coming down with your knees as we come through our flow, or if you want to come through chaturanga, that's fine. So bring the elbows in towards the body and coming forwards as we exhale our way down. Coming down to the floor, starting through cobra. Inhaling, rising up. Exhaling, rolling back. Pressing back into our down dog. Just taking it easy through these first flows. Maybe finding the pedaling of the feet again. Coming back into our down dog. Inhaling, the left leg comes up. Pressing back and away with that left foot, activating through the left leg. And then bending through the left side, opening up, stacking the hips. And keep pressing away with the hands. On the next exhalation, coming over into Wild Thing, coming to the outside edge of the right foot, pressing into the left toes and reaching over with the left hand, stretching the left side of the body. Breathing into the ribs on the left side, feeling the breath come up the left side of the body. All the way through the fingertips. On the next exhalation, bringing the left hand down, pressing back with the right foot. Inhaling, and on the next exhalation, stepping the left foot all the way through, planting the left foot to the floor as the right knee comes down to the ground. We inhale, reach up into our low crescent lunge. Reaching up and away with the crown and the fingertips and sinking deep down with the hips down and forwards. Such an expansive pose, the lunges, really opening up the body. On the next exhalation, dropping the right hand down on the inside of the left foot, reaching up with the left hand, twisting, looking up through the left fingertips. On the next exhalation, dropping the left hand down to the floor, stepping it back, find our plank pose. And again, finding your flow, coming down either knees, chest and chin, or full chaturanga. Coming through cobra, or raising up into up dog. Exhaling, rolling back into our down dog. Just noticing if you're beginning to open a little through the hamstrings and through the stretch, through the lower back. And doesn't it feel good when it does start to open up? As we bring a bit more depth into our flow with our right foot coming up. Raising it up nice and high. Bending into the right knee. Rolling over, landing the right foot. This time landing the whole sole of the foot on the ground. Planting the left sole of the foot down and opening up into our flip dog. Looking up the right hand fingertips. Feeling the expansion of the heart. Lifting the hips up as high as you can. Staying strong through the pose. On the next exhalation, dropping the right hand down, raising the right foot up. Nice and high. As we step it all the way through. Planting the right foot to the floor. Coming into our high lunge as we lift up and taking off. Keeping the back leg straight. Strong through the legs. Feel the groundedness through the right foot and the left toes. As we come deeper into our high lunge here. And when you feel strong and solid, see if you can sink down just a little bit. Just making the most of this high lunge. From here, dropping the right hand to the base of the spine. Left hand comes up and over as we lean back, coming to a little gentle back bend here, looking up. Staying strong, and then on the next exhalation, releasing the left hand inside the right foot. Right hand comes up. Oh, as we reach into a beautiful twist here. Staying with the breath. On the next inhalation, pressing up, inhaling, left hand comes up. As we flip around, right hand comes up, and we find our way into Warrior Two. Checking in with the core. Press the fingers away as if you're trying to reach either side of the wall. And sinking deeper into our Warrior Two. The core is activated. We find our focus down the right middle finger of the right hand. On the next inhalation, we straighten the front leg. We reach forward with the right fingertips. The right hand comes down to the right shin. And we look up along the left hand, finding our Trikonasana, pose of triangles. If you feel comfortable here, you can bring the right hand down to the floor. Whatever works for you in this position. But we're strong through the legs. Our base is tidy. And then when we inhale, we come back up to our warrior two. And we continue around finding our peaceful warrior. Reaching back with the right fingertips. Exhale, finding our extended side angle. Reaching away with the left hand. Finding the energetic space from the left foot all the way through the left fingertips as we look up through the armpits. Inhale, reversing it. Feeling the stretch through the right side here. On the next exhalation, coming back over again. Extended side angle. And from here, inhaling back to warrior two. We'll turn the feet in. Finding our legs wide apart, standing forward fold, bringing the hands to the hips. Inhale to open the chest, expand, lift up. And on the exhalation, we'll fold forwards. And diving down with the head. Allowing the neck to relax. Just maybe checking in with the feet. Seeing if we can find those toes to come into line. Releasing the hands down to the mat. And then gently and softly bringing the crown down towards the floor. So it really doesn't matter if the head is on the floor or away from the floor. But what we're working towards here is staying strong through the legs. So engaging through the quads. Staying balanced. And then relaxing through the spine, fully relaxing the spine and the neck. So as if we're just dangling or falling forwards. Beautiful stretch here through the legs. Taking the hands to the hips as we pull the belly in, engaging the core as we inhale and lift our way back up to center. Hands coming back out to the sides. From here, turning the left foot out. And we come into that warrior two on the left side. And just sinking into that warrior two here. From here we begin to straighten the left leg. Take the left hand and the right hand down in windmill motion either side of the left foot. Pyramid pose. Stepping the left foot back. Coming back down through a vinyasa. Rolling forward over the toes. Keeping the elbows in and exhaling our way down through chaturanga. Planting the feet and lifting into up dog. Exhaling, rolling back, pressing back into downward facing dog. And now we do start to get some of those openings, and aren't they nice? As we can just hold this dog, this is our resting pose really. Once you feel comfortable in down dog, you get to come back to the breath here, come back to the focus point, come back to our intention, that even though yoga asanas can be challenging, it's really a gift we give to ourselves, and that makes us feel quite good, quite peaceful in our life, even though it can be stressful or, challenging in the moment. Coming over to the left side as we inhale, the left leg comes up. Bending into the left knee and stacking the hips, left hip on top of the right. And then from here, as we exhale, we drop the left foot over and we come over onto the flip dog on the other side. Hips up strong. Feeling the openness in the heart. A few breaths here. On the next exhalation, dropping the left hand down, raising the left foot up. Swooping the left knee through, planting it in between the hands. Inhale, coming up, high lunge. And just take a moment to find the groundedness through the feet. Find your alignment. So you push the right hip forward a little bit. Left hip comes back a touch. As we keep reaching up and extending away with the hands. Left hand drops to the base of the spine. Right hand up and over as we lean back.
Gentle back bend. Staying with the breath. On the next exhalation, the right hand comes down nice and evenly, landing inside the left foot, and left hand comes up, and we find our beautiful twist. Looking up the left hand. Reaching away with the crown of the head, lengthening through the spine. And the next inhalation, we come up, right hand comes up and over, left hand comes from the bottom up. We find our warrior two, left side. We've already done the right side, so the left side, although it's a bit different, we kind of know where we're going. We're checking in, making those little adjustments, finding our balance and our breath. And everything's kind of beginning to work with our flow. Straightening through the front left leg, reaching away with the left fingertips. Left hand comes down either to the shin or to the floor or to a block if you have a block for your practice today. Reaching up with the right fingertips. Trikonasana. On the next inhalation, bending the front knee back into our warrior two. Dropping the right hand down, lifting the left hand up, reversing it, reverse warrior. Stretch through the left side now. Next exhalation, coming over to extended side angle, stretching through the right side of the body. And as we begin to open, you can deepen and go for a little bit more here. If you're feeling tight, or if you feel like something's a bit out today, then maybe easing off. But the beautiful thing with our asanas as we inhale and reverse it back is that as we deepen and open, we can really see what's there, see what we've got to give. Exhale, reversing it through. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, last extended side angle on this pose. And the next inhalation will come up with both hands, turn the left foot in a little bit, but not as much. So both feet are out on about a 45-degree angle. As we inhale, find our Garudasana in our arms, left arm underneath, right hand on top. And we sink down with the sitting bones towards the floor, the hips come down. And we find our goddess pose. And raising the elbows up here, hands coming up and away from the head. And seeing if you can find space to sink a little deeper into your goddess. On the next inhalation, releasing the hands coming up, twisting towards the right side, exhaling both hands down onto the mat, stepping right foot together with left, finding your flow. You can take the Luna, the more relaxed and soft flow, or you can take the solar flow, which might be our chaturanga and our up dog, working your way back towards Adho Mukha Shavasana, downward facing dog, and taking a little rest here. And just enjoying the space and the breath. Continue to be mindful of the breath coming in and out of the lungs. Notice anything that's tight and anything that's releasing, like continually to take note of the changes that are occurring throughout your practice. On the next inhalation, raising the right leg up, opening it up, and then stepping it through. Big step in between the hands with the right foot. Inhale, come all the way up into our high lunge. Sinking the hips down. From here, we'll step the left foot forward a little bit. Exhale the hands down behind the spine. invert the hands so they're pointing up towards the heart. So we're doing a reverse namaste here. If this is too hard for you, you can hold the elbows in the hands. That's also a completely fine option here as we work into a more traditional pyramid pose. In this pose, you open up on the inhalation, lifting the heart. And as you exhale, folding forwards, bringing the heart down towards the right thigh. Staying long through the head, the shoulders are open, not collapsing in on this leg here. But continually to work through that right hamstring opening, back of the right leg. Staying with the breath. These are big muscles we're stretching, so it can sometimes feel a bit strong, but stay with it and it works for you. On the next inhalation, pull the belly in and lift your way up, releasing the hands. From here, taking the hands behind the body as if you're flying, leaning forward, and then lifting the left foot off the floor, pressing into Warrior 3. You can choose to have the hands flying out to the side. You can bring them into the chest in Anjali Mudra, prayer position of the heart, or you can reach them out to the front. Strong through both legs, back, gazing forwards. On the next inhalation, we'll lift all the way up. Reaching up with the arms, left leg comes in as high as you can towards the chest. Taking hold of the left knee and the right hand. Left hand comes behind the body. Coming into our balancing pose. So either looking forward, or if you feel comfortable, looking over down your left fingertips. Staying with the breath. And then from here, bringing the arms up and over. Right hand stays up as the left hand comes down and takes hold of the left ankle. We inhale, engage the core a little bit, pressing to the left hand with the left ankle or left foot, and come down into Dancing Shiva. And beautiful focus here. Stay with the focus, stay with the breath. And as we exhale, we release the hands and the feet together, coming down into Uttanasana. Releasing, you can soften the hands, you can bring them into the opposing elbows, tuck them under the feet, really to release the wrists, whatever feels good for you. This is our little resting point here in Uttanasana. We just get to chill out for a bit. And these forward folds calms the mind, stills the mind, brings us back to ourselves. Bending the knees slightly, and then on the next inhalation we'll rise up, lifting the arms, looking up through the hands, extend it out, exhaling the hands down through the heart, and then releasing all the way back to the floor. Stepping back into our plank pose. Leaning forwards, coming down through Chaturanga. In Cobra, we take an inhalation. Exhale, roll it back. Downward facing dog. Pressing back here. On the next inhalation, left leg comes up nice and high. Bending the left knee, stacking the hips. Left knee comes up as high as we can. Press through the hands. Stay strong through our downward dog. As we exhale, we bring the knee through, taking a big step, planting the knee in between the hands. Inhale up. Coming up into our high lunge. Grounded through the feet. How focused are we going here? Staying with it. And then releasing the hands, taking a little step forward with the left foot. Taking the hands behind the body, preparing the reverse namaskara or hands in the elbows. Inhaling to lift the heart. Open the chest. Exhale to fold forwards. Bring the chest down towards the left thigh. If it helps, you can engage the muscles above the knees. Helps release the hamstring and helps keep a steady base through the legs. And again, not falling or crumpling down here. Keeping the shoulders wide. Heart's open and proud. Sinking into this front leg. On the next inhalation, pulling the spine to the belly, coming all the way up. Releasing the hands. And taking the hands out to the sides. As we bend the front leg, we lean forwards. And then we fly and lift the back leg off the floor, coming into our warrior three. Variations with the hands. What works for you here? It's nice to fly in our warrior three. Next inhalation coming up with the right knee. Both arms come up, reach up, strong through the core a little bit and through the root, the perineum. As the left hand comes to the right knee and right hand comes behind the body, we bring the gaze over towards the right fingertips, if that's comfortable for you, or keeping the gaze at the front of the room. Inhale, hands come up, left leg comes back, right leg comes back. Take hold of the right ankle in the right hand, left fingertips high. Press the right ankle into the right hand as you exhale. Find your dancing Shiva. Our balancing pose is great for focus. Staying with the breath. When you're ready, releasing the hands and the right leg down. Finding your Uttanasana. And relaxing through here again. This is a little resting spot. Just taking it nice and easy. Wherever you are, beginning to bend the knees, and then on the inhalation coming all the way up, raising the hands up, lifting up, stretching through the sides of the body, reaching up as high as you can with the fingertips and exhaling the hands down through the heart and folding forwards all the way to the floor. On the next inhalation, coming into a halfway lift. On the next exhalation, planting the hands. Stepping back with the feet into our plank. Finding your flow. Knees, chest and chin. Chaturanga. Up dog on the inhalation. Exhale, rolling back down dog. On the next inhalation, raising the right knee up. And as you exhale, bring the right knee over towards the left knee. And then take it a big step out to the left side with the right foot. Inhale, lifting the left arm and the hips nice and high. We find ourselves in a rock star, very beautiful, expansive pose here. Pressing into the right hand, lifting off. On the next exhalation, we're going to bring the hips down towards the floor nice and slowly, keeping the legs where they are. Inhaling both hands up high. And on the exhalation, we'll come down with the hands in front of the body, coming into our legs wide apart, sitting forward fold, finding length through the backs of the legs. Inhale, open the chest, and on the exhalation, see if you can bring the chest a little bit closer to the floor. Varies greatly. Some people are quite flexible through the hips and they can bring their chest all the way down to the ground. Sometimes it can be hard just to sit basically upright in this position. So when I first started, I really couldn't do this. So it feels great to be able to sit forward and then work with each breath, seeing if you can bring the chest a little bit closer to the floor. can just imagine one day you'll be able to give the floor a little kiss when you get there. And staying here a little bit longer just so we can really enjoy the opening through the legs, through the adductors, through the backs of the knees here. Things take time to open up and release, so we're going to just take a couple more breaths. From here, working into the side body by taking the right hand over to the right foot or the right big toe. You can rest it on the right shin. Inhale, the left arm comes up and over, and we stretch through the left side of the body. If it feels comfortable, turning the head, looking up through the left armpit. Again, you can take hold of the left foot with the left hand, but try not to compromise opening through the left side and keeping the heart twisted up towards the ceiling. And keeping that heart open is really a beautiful part of this stretch. On the next inhalation, raising up, both hands coming up. And the right foot comes in towards the left thigh. And on the exhalation, we twist the heart towards the left knee as we come down, both hands, wrapping around the left foot, or maybe the left shin. That all depends on how much flexibility you've got here. So if you're finding your hands are up here, that's totally fine. That's where you're meant to be. And opening the shoulders up, leading from the heart as we fold forwards into our Janushirshasana. Beautiful grounding poses, the sitting poses, coming back to the earth. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, stretching. Throughout our whole practice, we've got the interplay between the offer and the stretch. The offer and the taking the offer, receiving the gift that we give to ourselves with every breath. As we inhale, we raise up with the hands. Take the right hand to the right knee, left hand behind the spine, and then as we exhale, we look over the left shoulder into a gentle twist. And planting the left hand and planting the right foot to the floor. On the next inhalation, raising the right hand up and pressing into the right foot, coming onto the toes, coming back over into our wild thing. Last wild thing for today. And really stretching out, making the most of it here. And then on the exhalation, we drop the right hand and come back over into our plank pose. Strong through the core. From here, either going through your vinyasa, or you can press it straight back into downward dog. Your choice here. Inhale, the left leg comes up nice and high. Open up the hips, bending the left knee. And then bringing, on the exhalation, the left knee through to the right elbow. Now holding it just for a second, just to feel into that core space, and then kicking it out. Open up into our rock star. Finding the breath, finding the expansion. You might be tighter on one side, so you might really feel through the upper ribs here or the lower ribs on the other side. On the next exhalation, bringing the hips down, spreading the feet wide. Both hands come up, and then as we exhale, folding forwards. Legs wide apart, sitting forward fold. We've done this with standing up, and we've done this on the other side. So we should be feeling nice and open here through the groin and in the legs. A lot of work's been done. So now we have the opportunity to really relish the depth, sinking the chest down towards the floor. Taking the left hand to the left toe. And as you inhale, the right hand comes up and over, finding that stretch through the right side of the body. few breaths here, making the most of this beautiful side stretch. As we inhale, coming back up, left foot comes in towards the right thigh, reaching up with the hands. And as you exhale, folding forwards, bringing the chest over the right knee, finding a nice place for your hands to come, opening the chest and the heart, and exhaling your way down towards the right knee with the chest. Janashashasana. On the next inhalation, we'll lift off. Exhale to twist. Right hand behind the spine, left hand over the right knee, looking over the right shoulder with the gaze. And staying with the breath. And releasing. Just taking the right hand across the mat a little bit to the right side as we plant the left foot to the floor and we inhale and raise up, finding our wild thing, stretching through the left side of the body. Such a graceful pose, such a beautiful pose here. Pressing away from the floor with the right hand. On the next exhalation, bring the left hand down, come back over into our plank. From here, holding plank. Working with the core a little bit now. On the next exhalation, taking the right knee to the right elbow. Inhale, step it back. Exhale, left knee to left elbow, bring it in. Inhale, step it back. Finding the rhythm of your breath with the exhale and the inhalation, moving the knees to the elbows. Right knee, right elbow, left knee, left elbow. And then we'll lift up the right foot here. And holding plank with just the left leg down, right leg up and activated. And then dropping the right leg. And then lifting the left leg. Feeling into the core. Using the Manipura, the strength, the power of your conviction to stay with the practice. Exhaling, left leg down. And from here, gently make your way down onto the knees. We'll begin to release a little bit. And coming straight into our Anahastasana. Coming down to the floor. The knees are stacked under the hips. The forehead is resting. The arms are out in front. And then we begin to open through the shoulders a little and let the heart sink down and fill up that space underneath the body. Staying with a nice even breath as we get to come down and take a wee rest. On the next inhalation, looking up, and we'll slide it through. Finding our Sphinx pose. Elbows stacking under the shoulders. Pressing the hands into the floor. Lifting the chest. Pulling your way up with the hands. Being mindful not to crunch the neck, so you can look up gently, but if you feel too much impingement on the back of the neck, then just bring the head forwards a little bit. From here, walking the hands back to the waist. Inhale to lift your way up into upward dog. And press the knees into the floor and press back onto the knees. Curling the toes under on the feet. Inhaling, coming up. Just becoming aware of your hips here. As we inhale, the hands come up to shoulder height. Exhale, the right hand comes behind the body onto the right foot, and the left hand comes behind the body onto the left foot. As we press into the hips, we're quite open and warm now, so coming into a full camel. If this is too strong for you, you can just come up and do one side with one arm up and over. You might feel like flowing through into the dancing camel movement. Or if you're feeling nice and open, you can stay with the full camel and finding the deepest extension and expression of your heart, opening to the heavens, and giving and receiving are the same transaction of energy in the universe. And with our heart open, we're very much open to receive. Being able to take credit for something you're good at is definitely a gift. As you inhale, make your way up nice and gently. As we come down towards the floor, beginning to come back towards the earth by bringing the toes together, the knees wide apart. Taking the right hand underneath the body and the left hand out in front as we come into our Balasana variation of a twist. And child's pose with a twist. And gently coming back to the earth and to the ground. Nice stretch through the shoulder and twist in the spine, helping us release from our back bends, our heart openers. There's nothing quite like a good twist. And holding it for a little bit longer here to really gain the benefit of that full release. Allowing the left hand to soften, the left shoulder to soften. Just being heavy on the floor with all of the body, all of the parts of the floor that are in contact. And just sinking into the ground here. On the next inhalation, walking your way back up. And then we'll swap sides. So walking the right hand out in front, taking the left hand underneath the right armpit, bringing the left cheek to the floor, and resting down, finding that beautiful stretch in the opposite side of the body here. Staying with the breath and softening through the body. Next inhalation, gently bring the hands back up. And while we're here, we'll turn the hands back to face us. And the fingers are facing towards the thighs or the knees. Come up onto the toes. Open the chest. Coming into our lion's roar. So big inhalation through the nose. And then as we exhale out the mouth, we stick the tongue out. And again. One more time to fully release. Beautiful. Expelling the toxic energy, toxic air. Coming onto the hands and then crossing the feet over and making our way back over onto our comfortable seat. Straightening the legs out in front. Inhaling, the hands coming up and reaching up with the hands. And as we exhale, sinking forwards, coming into Paschimottanasana. This is our sitting forward fold. The same position as Uttanasana. We're just sitting on the floor, so it can feel a bit easier to release and relax here without the tension and pressure coming through our legs.
Continue to find that length through the spine, the chest and the heart is open. And to give and receive as we exhale and fold our way forwards. And beautiful release. It can also be nice once you've opened the chest. Sometimes it's really also nice just to release and relax it all, let it all go. We're still active here through the legs. We're pressing the knees into the floor. We're pressing the feet back towards the body. And this activation through the front of the legs allows the deactivation of the hamstrings and the backs of the legs, which is the muscles we're stretching and targeting here. As we inhale, we raise the hands up nice and high. Exhale, taking the hands behind the body, planting the hands to the floor. And then we gently begin to roll our way back down onto the floor, resting down. I'm bending the knees and lifting the feet up, taking the outside edges of the feet in the hands, knees out to the side as we pull the feet down towards the floor and keep the sacrum on the ground, flat on the ground, lengthening through the spine. Happy baby pose. So happy baby's great with a rock if that feels comfortable on your spine. If you prefer stillness, then staying still. For our happy baby, we'll make our happy baby sound. So taking a deep inhalation, pursing the lips and rocking yourself into a state of bliss. Happy babies, bringing the soles of the feet together and releasing the feet to the floor. Supta Baddha Konasana, reclining butterfly pose. Feeling the breath coming into the chest, allowing the knees to soften and release down towards the floor. As we wind down and slowly come out of our practice today, you can stay here for a little bit longer, or if you feel ready for a rest and a full Shavasana, then straightening the legs out in front of you and resting out long and straight. A few little wiggles just to get comfortable as we come into stillness. And closing the eyes down. Slowing the breath and releasing the breath. No more breath control, no more steadiness, just softness. And release, sinking into the floor. Releasing thoughts, releasing any tension. Allowing for full relaxation. Either staying in Shavasana for 5, 10, 15 minutes or falling asleep for a few hours. You can stay here for as long as you like. It's a great place to be. If you need to rest, then Shavasana is where you need to be. If you feel like gently coming out of a Shavasana, beginning by waking up the body, wiggling the fingers and the toes, finding movement in the hands and the wrists, ankles and the feet. Gently finding a stretch. Oops.
And twist from side to side, maybe just a final release. And rolling over into the fetal position. Enjoying the gifts that we've given ourselves today as we press up and push up into our comfortable seat. With our eyes closed, pressing the palms of the hands together, touching the thumbs to the heart, finding our Anjali Mudra. And staying with the sensation of the breath in the body. Becoming aware and noticing change energetically and physically from before you came and sat on the mat till now. And you're ready to take these gifts that you've experienced from the mat out into your daily life. Taking the hands to the top of the head. In thankfulness to divinity and to the universe. Taking the thumbs to the third eye. In thankfulness to the light. May we have clarity of thought. Hands to the lips. May we have truth in speech. Hands to the heart. For loving kindness, openness to give and receive freely. And bowing down, namaste. Thank you.